Hey guys, welcome back to Selenium for Java February 2025 Batch Online Training Session 9. In today's session, I will cover the remaining important aspect of TestNG, like how to include and exclude groups during execution in TestNG, what is TestNG Parameterization, and importance of data provider in TestNG, what is listener in TestNG, how we can execute only failed test case without and with listeners, and how we can do the parallel test execution in Selenium WebDriver with the help of TestNG. So group part I already discussed in the last session what is the objective of the group. So in case you are having 500 test cases, definitely always not always like you'll be executing everything. Instead of that, write couple of test cases you can categorize under the sanity suit, functional, regression, integration, end to end, like that. And definitely similar way the test case also belong to different application, say application A, B2, B, C, like D, like that. And sometimes few test cases might belong to multiple application as well. So group in TestNG denotes the process of grouping different test case or test method together into a straightforward group and running this test or method together by just running the group in a single command, though these test or method are belonging into different class. So grouping is possible from different packages, different class, but it is only one time activity. After that, if you want to run the relevant group, so you can just filter out and do the needful in the testng.xml file. After that, automatically will first filter out the test case, then the execution will happen. So that is the way. Instead of running all the suite, whatever requirement is there, I can run them and I can get the result quickly. So grouping test is another very good feature of TestNG, using which user can create group of test method. User can create a group of test method based on the functionality and features, or based on the modules, or based on the different testing type like functional testing, regression, MOOC, end-to-end, integration, etc. This way, user can differentiate specific group test methods from all the test methods. Group are specified in the testng.xml file and can be used under the or tag. Group specified in the tags apply to all the group underneath. So how we can add the test cases and group? So you already know the @test annotations will be treated as the test cases in the TestNG. In case you are having 5 @test annotations, so it will be considered as 5 test case. And in the within the @test annotation, you can mention first bracket, then group equal to, within second bracket you can give multiple group name within the second bracket itself. After that, in the TestNG tag, right after the suit, you need to add that group tag, then run tag, and here you can include the group name wherever you can do it. So that is the way you can include, you can exclude. In case sometime, right, say group name is your every application name is suppose say application 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. But if you want to run all the application 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in single shot, so how you can do it? You can mention that group include app dot star, so that automatically wherever word starting with app, everything group will be treated as treated in the execution or filtered in the during the execution. So we'll go to the Eclipse. Okay, so this is our project February 2025 batch Selenium training, and today I have created a new TestNG class, TestNG session 2, where I have created 4 methods: method 1, method 2, method 3, and method 4. You could see this is the 4 method with the help of the test tag. This is the 4 method. Now every test case I am categorizing into different group based on my requirement. So that first test case belong to test application 1. Along with that, it is also belong to regression test. Second test case belong to application 2 and also belong to smoke test. So that is the whatever required you can do it. Third test cases belong to integration test and test application 3 and regression test as well. Whereas my last test cases is belong to UAT test and smoke test. Also I can include couple of things like that. That is the way I can do it. Test application 3, test application 1, say. So that is the way I can group it. Now that is the way I have did the grouping. Now if you want to run from the testng.xml file, there is no impact. All the test cases will be executed. Because we have just defined the group, but we did not mention that what is the filter criteria we need to execute through the group. So in case you are running from the testng.xml file, TestNG class, so it will run everything. But now what is the way you can categorize the group? So you need to go to the testng.xml file, and under the test you need to add this tag, whatever is mentioned in the PPT as well, right? Groups, run, include name and the group, whatever you want to run. So I want to run smoke test. So see how many test case smoke test tag is or group is there. So the first test case there is no smoke test. For the second, no smoke test. Sorry, smoke test is there for the second method too. You could see for the third one there is no smoke test, and for the fourth one there is smoke test available. So that is the way. So it will to execute two test case only, this one and this one, because the group tag group is smoke test available only in these two test case. So now we can try to run it with the help of include name, group run, and then you can give that group name, and again you can close the run and group tag. So this is the class I want to run it, and the classes tag remaining thing I have commented out. Okay, only this class I want to run it, training.testng session 2, and should name and test name you don't need to change anything, whatever was there it will still same. Now save the code and let's try to run it. Run as TestNG should. So always you need to run from the TestNG should with defining the group. Now you could see only two test cases got executed, method 2 and method 4. Why? Because in these two test cases this group belongs mock test exactly. Now if you want to run something called integration test, you can change it, you can do it like that. Now wherever the integration tag is there, that particular test case will be filtered out and it will be executed. Now you could see only one test case executed, and what is the output? Method 3. And what is the executed? Test method 3. Now if you go to that one, you could see integration test only belong to the test method 3. Other test case not having this particular group name, integration test. So that is the way with the exact name you can run it. But now say your expectation is that I do not want to execute any test case with name as integration test. Excluding, I want to execute everything excluding that one, wherever that particular integration test is not there. So what you can do, instead of include, you can mention something called exclude. Simple thing. Exclude. That's all. Now if you save and run the code, so wherever integration test tagged is there, that will be not executed. Remaining all the test cases will be executed. Now here 1, 2 and 4 is getting executed. Because 1, 2 and 4, that integration tag is not available. Right? Only 3 is available. Now next question will be that I want to run all the test cases where that test word is present, starting, or test app word is present, AP word is present. So where this also test case present, this also test case present, this also present, and this also present. Or maybe this test case I can remove it. Say I am removing it. So this test case there is no tag available starting with test AP. So what is the way I can do it? I will copy that word, because it will execute test application 1, 2, 3, everything I want to execute. Wherever this word starting, I will execute that way. So what I can do, again I can change it to include, and here I can give dot start. The word starting with that, after that whatever word, I don't worry about that. Wherever the word is starting with test app, after that remaining thing will be executed wherever group name is matching. So now if you run it, so all 3 test cases will be executed wherever test application 1, 2, 3 is there. You could see 1, 2 and 4 method is getting executed. 3 is not getting executed. Why? Because test method 3 does not have this word starting with test app. So that is the way you can deal with the grouping. Right? You can have define test case only one time. After that you can group based on your testing type, right, application type, and there are so many ways. You can have multiple group with commas separated, and then you can here include or exclude anything. And instead of include and exclude, you can run also same time. So here you can give multiple parameters. Like I want to include everything wherever starting with test tab, but within which I don't want to run anything wherever there is a regression tag is there. So I am excluding that. So wherever test tab what is there, it will try to execute, but out of which the filter, again it will filter wherever regression tag, test tag is there or group is there, it will not be executed. So it will filter multiple conditions. So 1, 3 and 4 it was there, test app what was there, but where regression to test 1 is present, so that is the reason it is getting excluded, because I want to exclude it. So that is the way you can deal with the group in different way. So I will take a pause. Any questions here? Okay, we'll go to the next topics. The next one is parameterization. In the past TestNG I told about the important to another aspect is of the TestNG is parameterization and data driven testing. So parameter is nothing, same set of parameter, like it will be like covered in multiple test cases or methods. So that is parameterization. So that you can change the value accordingly, and after that automatically wherever that parameter is being called, it will be getting impacted. So one of the important feature of TestNG is the parameterization. This features allows user to pass parameter to test as argument. This is supported by using the TestNG @parameter annotations. The @parameter annotation can be used for any @before, after, and @test annotate methods. It can be used to initialize variables and use them in a class, test, or maybe for the whole test execution. In case user need to pass some value, simple value such as string type, to the test method at runtime, user can use this approach of sending parameters values through TestNG XML configuration file or testng.xml file. User have to use the @parameter annotation for passing parameter value to the test method. So what we'll do, let's comment it out these test cases. Let's try to create some more test cases, like simple test cases will be running. Say @test public void add addition. Here I can pass some parameter int a comma int b. SYSO a plus b. Okay, that's simple thing. Then here what I can do, I can pass as, I can use the parameter. You could see, you need to use always TestNG dot annotation. Do not use the BUST J commander. Okay, use always this one, org.testng dot annotation package. Here you can use whatever int a and b is coming, so I can use some parameter similar way. Say integer data 1 comma integer data 2. That's all. And within the double quote, you need to give within the double quote. Data 1. No, I think not required. Yeah, integer is not required. You can give something called within the double bracket. Yeah, that is the way. Now this data 1 is defining variable A, data 2 is defining variable B. Now similar way I can copy this part, right? I can create multiple methods with the same parameter. Say subtraction, where I can do A minus B. Then I can use say multiplication. Here I can do like that. Okay, so that is the way I can have multiple parameters. Okay, so a multiple method with this, whereas it is calling the same parameter. Two parameter, both are integer. Okay, now it is done. Okay, now if I want to execute anything here from here, it is no impact. It will actually fail. Why? Because it is does not able to understand what is the value of A and B, all this stuff, right? You could see it will not able to understand the value because I did not mention, only mention data 1, data 2. It is not able to understand what is those all about. Now what I need to do, I need to go to that, I can comment it out, this part. Under the test, what I need to do, I have mentioned here, like parameter name and the value you need to add it under the test part. So what I will do, I will copy this part, format, simple thing. Under the test you can do it. So what is my parameter name? data 1 and data 2. Okay, the value say I can give, suppose say 20, and this is my second parameter, data 2, I can give the value as 10. Now it is done. Now I want to execute from the testng.xml file. Now let's try to run it and let's see what's happening there. You could see it is executing 3 test cases. Output is coming as 30 because this is my okay. Now let's try to run it again so you can get that output. Okay, you could see there is no failure, all are pass. What is the value is coming? No, I will run it from here. Let's go here, Windows, show view. Where is that?
There is no failure. All are passed. Implies
Explorer. Output is there. Yeah. Okay, it is failed here. Why I need to run it from the parameter only. So we'll be running it. You could see now all are pass. What is the value is coming? 30. Because first one is addition. It will come based on the alphabetical order. Executed. Addition 20 plus 10 equal to 30. Then multiplication 20 multiplied by 10 equal to 200. And then subtraction 20 minus 10 equal to this 10. Right? This is the way it is coming. Now say what I will do. I will want to add one parameter maybe for only for addition. So what I can do, I can integer c, I can add it, but it will still not understand as a parameter here because here only 2 parameter is mentioned. Now say one parameter I want to use 2 times, or I can add new parameter as well. So I can want to add data 2 only for as a third parameter. Still it is possible. So it will depend what is the you want to use it. Say I want to use as a data 3 as a third parameter. So now if you execute it, it will see. So for this one, data 1 and data 2 will be added 2 times because data 2 is mapping with B and again data 2 is mapping with C as well. So now it will be A plus B plus C, means 20 plus 10 for some part. Instead of 30 it will be 40, rest will be still same. You could see 20, 200 and 10. Now say these 2 parameter I can either use at the should level or at the test level. So there is no difference. It will be still work fine at the should level or test level, whatever you are doing. It will be no difference. You could see result is not different. But in case same thing you want to define the should level and test level, whereas your result, your value is different. So what value it should execute? It will ignore the should level value and it will take the value from the test level. So test level will be always prioritized here in the TestNG. Okay, now you could see 250 will be ignored and it will still consider the 20 and 10 value. Whatever value will be giving at the test level, that will be given. Now it will be instead of 20, if you change it to 5, so it will be executed accordingly. So whatever you are defining at the should level, in case both the parameter value is available at the should level and test level, so it will be considered only the test level value, not at the should level value. I think that is all about the parameter. Is mentioned also here. Right, user can declare the variables at the should level and test level. However, TestNG give preference to the parameter defined at the test level over the parameter set at the should level. So that is the way you can add again parameters. Okay, and you can add n number of parameters. You can map with n number of parameters. Right, you can add new methods and again map with the existing parameter, or you can add new parameter. So in case say you want to add a new parameter, say I'm just giving example. So let's remove this out. Say instead of that I want to add as a parameter as a data 3. I can still do it, right? And but I need to add this parameter value as a data 3, otherwise it will not work. So data 3 I can make it say 100. Now if you execute it, you could see the differences. Now it will be addition will be 20 plus 5 plus 100 equal to 125. Sorry, it is data 2 still, right? This confusion. So let's see now. Yeah, you could see it is 125 because 20 plus 5 plus 100 is getting counted out. So that is the way you can add n number of method. You can change the parameter. You can add the parameter value in the testng-xml file, or you can try to give write at should level, test level. But in case same parameter value is available, it will only take the parameter value from the test level, and should level will be ignored. Any doubt here? Okay. Then I'll go to the data provider. So what we learn in the parameters, that same parameters we will be calling in multiple methods, but data provider is nothing but same test case, same step will be executed with multiple values. That is called data driven testings using TestNG. So that part we will be implementing again in the next session using the Excel file data with the help of the Apache PY. So in most of the situation, user need to run same set of scenario with different set of data. During that time, it is not possible to write a test case for each of that set of data. Instead of that, user can use data provider, which provide data in the form of an array of object. To run the @test annotation multiple times with different input, user can use the data provider option present in TestNG. A data provider annotate methods always return an array of object. It can be any dimensional. So number of row whatever you want to present, it should be nothing but the number of iteration you want to perform, and number of column is nothing but how many number of argument of the field you want to interact. In case it is a like 2 or 3 matrix, row equal to true means you want to have two different data row, two different variation of the data, and your column value is 3 means you are want to have 3 field. Or suppose in case I want to have 3 cos 2, so means you want to execute 3 times and you want to have 2 fields. So let's try to see that. Comment out all this part for now. Okay, let's say I want to open the Facebook page every time, and I want to give the user ID password field. I want to click the button, login button. I want to check whether thing is working or not. I will not click it, though I will try to enter the user ID password field multiple times. Okay, so then we will see here. So we already have written some code here, so this is the just thing. I will take it. Okay, so I will be creating a method here, enter user ID password, and this part is not required. Okay, so what I will do, let's import that Chrome driver and WebDriver here. They created anything globally, or I can create something globally. And I can import the Chrome driver. So what we are doing, we are launching the Chrome driver, maximizing it, we are opening the Facebook page. when identifying email field and where I want to enter some value, where identifying email password field where I want to enter value and I want to quit it. Okay, but so that is fine, it will work. It is not, there is no problem at all. But say in case the same thing I want to run for 10 times, so will I copy that same code 10 times and I'll change the value here every time? No, right? Because I'll be running the same test case only 10 times with only changing the value here. So what I will do, I will try to do the data driven testing with the help of the data provider. So what I will do, I will try to create a object here, method here. So say method, I can give something called public. So that is the, we need to create the method public, then method name. Return type we will give it later. Say get user ID and password. So that is a simple method I want to create. Okay. Now here in the Facebook, email ID and password I want to give, right, with multiple iteration. So it is a two field. So it is a and multiple iteration. So it is a matrix format, right? Two value and multiple iteration I can give it. So what I can do, I can create an object. So this is row. Row is nothing but number of iteration. Column is nothing but the number of field you want to interact. I can create some variable name called data equal to new object, and here I can give the row and column value exactly. Say row is, I want to row iterate for 3 times, and I want to interact with two fields here, password and email and password field. So that is done. Definition is done. Now I can define the value with the help of the data variable. So data variable, and I can give that one. So row is 2, 3. So it will starting with 0, 1 and 2, right? So let's give something called row. Data variation 1. So first variation it will go. So 0 and 0. Row 0, column 0 means first iteration, and in the email field will enter the value. So what I can do, equal to say user name 1. Then what I can do, for the password field, row will be fixed 1, column will be 0. Say password 1. Then I can go for the other variation. I have given row as 3, so it will be go for 3 variation. So variation, data variation 2. So column will be now constant for everything, only row will change. So I can change the value, call username 2 and call password 2. And here it will be 2 because 0, 1, 2, right? So username 3 and password 3. So what is the return type? Return type is data. So it is returning the data, whatever I am entering. So I will be add called return data variable. Now what is returning? It is returning data. What is data? Data is nothing but the object, two-dimensional object. So I can copy that one and I can paste it here in the return type. That's all. That is the way I write the method, right, for creating a matrix data format. Now I will associate it with here. I will be just adding the data provider @data provider. If you do not know, just type it. You could see it is coming from the data provider. And from where it is coming? It is coming from the TestNG annotation. Now this part is done, right? Whatever data I want to take it from the TestNG XML, TestNG class itself, I can add it. So this part later we can see how we can, same thing, how we can take it from the Excel file. The same code will be running it next day, and we will try to do the data-driven testing, same approach. Then here I need to map it, right, somehow, this method, so that it will take it. So what I will do, I will be copy the method name, and in the test here I will be using data provider. That is the syntax, it is coming here. You could see that is the thing we need to map it. And within the double quote you need to give the method name exactly. Now it is done. Now what I will do, instead of this hard-coded part, I want to change the hard-coded part, right? So I will be passing some argument. Both are string only. So string uname and string password. Now simply these two part I will map it here. So instead of double quote, it will be simply you can give the variable. Simple thing. That is the step by step you need to change it. Do not go in the directly. Go follow the step by step process. Then only you can understand. Now save the code. Now you can run it from either from the test class itself or from the TestNG file itself, wherever you could see now. So 3 test cases it will run actually, because we are giving 3 different variation, username 1 and password 1 and 2 like that. Okay, you could see already executed, second executed, and third executed, and every time it is quitting the browser. Okay, now if you go here you could see what is the it's got executed. Same test case, enter user and password, and first one username 1 password 1 combination, second one username 2 password 2 combination, third one username 3 password 3 combination. Now say instead of 2 combination I want to go for 4 combination, so you can add the row number as 4, change it, and here you can add one more. Sorry, instead of 2 it will be 3. Now I can copy it and I can add one more combination as 4. That is the beauty. You don't need to change anywhere. You just change the data provider, that's all. So you don't need to touch your main code. In case you want to change any data provider variation, you can change it here only with same attribute or same field you want to interact. Now you could see I have just only updated in the data provider section. Instead of 3 variation I want to go for 4 variation with only same 2 value. So I have updated only here, and similarly I can either execute it here or I can try to execute it from here as well. So I can comment out this part, parameter part, that was not required here, and now I can try to run it from the TestNG suite. You could see now it will be the same way it will run for 4 different variation: username password 1 2 3 and combination 3 and 4 combination. You could see username 1 password 1 giving, username 2 password 2 it will be giving, username 3 password 3 it will be giving, and I have added one more combination now, so it will be giving me username 4 and password 4 combination, right? And now you could see 4 iteration got passed. And now if you go here, you could be able to see it here, TestNG test, because we are running from the TestNG suite, and TestNG test is the test name and suite name, and then package name to the class name, and this is the method name always constant, how much time it is taking, 5 seconds, and what is the combination of data we are passing it. So that is the way you can do the data driven testing. Just simple example I have tried to cover it. So it is nothing. You need to create a new method where you can use data provider, you need to use the matrix format, right, whatever number of field you want to interact and whatever number of way you want to interact, and after that you need to map this method whatever created in the test cases with the help of the data provider, and after that you need to pass some argument and you need to just call the argument. That is the way it will work. So there is nothing new. Okay, if you all just do the step by step process, then it will be easy for you. But next session, this part, same data driven testing, instead of hard coding value, we will try to integrate with the help of the Excel file. We will try to take the data from the Excel, because Excel we can create the data very easily and no need to change give my data, right, the row value. It will be dynamic, because in case I am giving a 5 row, it will be 5, automatically take as a 5. In case I am giving 7 row, automatically update to 7. So that is the, instead of hard coding, I want to make it dynamic, and I want to get the data from the Excel sheet, because I can update it very easily. I no need to add so many stuff here, right, or every time I no need to change the row number. So that is the part we will be learning in the next session. Same thing will automatic in with the help of the Excel sheet. Any questions here? So whatever you have learned so far, grouping part, so that you can write the test case fast. After that, once you write the test case, you can have the grouping of test cases based on the application, based on the testing type, based on the other aspect. After that, you can go to the testng.xml file and you can add the group tag, like group run and then group name. You can include or exclude like anything. And whatever learned in the data provider part is nothing but same data set, right, same variable value you can execute, you can call it in multiple methods. And whereas it is not data provider, it is a parameter, And data provider data driven testing is nothing but same test case you want to repeat it n number of time with different variation of the data, so you can use the data provider. So you need to create a separate method, use the data provider, and need to call that method name into the main test cases and to map it accordingly. So that is the way you can do these three important stuff here: grouping, annotations, grouping part, parameterization, and the data provider concept of data driven testing using TestNG. Now I'll try to go to the one of the important aspect is called listener in TestNG. So what is listener? Say in case, right, you do not know that you are having n number of test cases, say 100 test cases, but you do not know whether test case will pass or fail or skipped. You do not know. It will be depend based on the actual thing, right, happening in the application. Okay, so you want to add something whenever test case is getting passed, just generic. In case you want to add screenshot only test case is getting failed, you want to add the author name whenever test case is getting passed, or different stuff only based on the actual result. So how can you do it? For that you can take the help from the listener in TestNG. Sometimes user used to modify the behavior of TestNG during skip development, and this can be done by the interfaces. This interface which help the user to do so are known as listener. As the name suggests, listener's primary task is to listen to an event, define and react according to that. The main purpose for which listeners are used by the programmers is to create log and create the custom reporting according to the specific defined scenario defined or based on the user need. A TestNG listeners always extend org.testng.it TestNG listener and TestNG provider couple of listener like I execution listener, I annotation transformer, I should listener, I test listener, I configuration listener, right, I invoke method listener, I method interceptor, I hookable, I reporter, all these parts. But mostly we will be using two listener here. One is I test listener and another one will be using called IRetryAnalyzer listener, which we can use it for execute only the failed test case n number of times. So each listener has some specific methods that are overridden. So what is listeners? What you learn in the interface? Interface is nothing but 100% like abstract method. So listener also 100% abstract method. So every time, right, if you extend some interface in that particular class, you need to implement all the unimplemented methods. After that, you can update those methods corresponding behavior. So that is listener. Listeners 100 interfaces. So most popular listeners and the methods which are overridden by them are mentioned below. I test listener, so we'll be using, which is nothing but one of the most commonly used listener in Selenium WebDriver. The programmer simply needs to implement the ITest listener interface and overrides all the methods of this interface in order to use it. It makes the call before and after every test present in the suite. There are several methods in it like on start, on finish, on test start, on test failure, on test skip, like on test success, like that. On start and on finish is nothing, it will be called only one time at the suite level. But on test start, on test failure, on test skip, on test success, it will be called every time when your test method or test case is getting passed, failed or skipped accordingly based on your actual progress of the test case or actual status of the test case. So let's see what is the way you can do the listener part. Okay, let's comment out this part. What we will do, we will try to create some test cases. So say we'll create 4 test cases here. Okay, so we need to import the assert class. So we are having 4 test cases. Say test 1, test 2, test 3 and test 4. Test 1 is getting passed because assertion is getting passed. Okay, test 2 is getting failed because assertion is getting failed. 10 and 11 it is not matching. And test 2 is dependent on test cases. So in case test 2 is getting failed, so test 3 will be skipped. and test 4 also getting failed, right, because assertion is not getting matched. Now if you want to run it using TestNG particular class or TestNG XML, you will be seeing two test case got failed, one passed and one skipped based on the stuff you want to do, but it is not printing anything as of now. No output is printing because we did not give any output here. But I want to change the output based on the pass, fail or skip status. So what is the way I can do it? I'll go to the package, I'll create a new class. Say what is the class name I can give? Say TestNG Listener class. No need to select public static void main. No need to select. And here I'll be, calling the interface, relevant interface, implement. What is the interface I'll be calling? I test listener. I test listener. If you do not know, just print like that. You could see it is coming from org TestNG direct package, and it is the interface I test listener. Now there is some problem in the Eclipse. Sometimes all the undefined method is not showing it here. So in case it's not showing, how can you get it? Right click, right, and you can go here, source. You could see, right click and go to the source in the particular class whatever you created, and you can use that override or implement method, right? You could use that one in case that is not coming sometime. Now you could see these are the part, what are the method we are coming, we need to implement them. Okay, method only, because listener are 100% abstract in nature, so that in case I want to use them, I need to use all the unimplemented method, otherwise it will throw the error. Method only I am talking about. Now you could see all the method came. Now what you can do, you can write, remove this part, okay, and this part you can just update something that on test start is nothing but whenever test case will be starting. Okay, so what we can do, you can use SOISO method, and you can try to give something called, say, test output TestNG test case start, and you can concatenate the result part. So what is the way I will concatenate? I will be just adding it the variable name dot get name. What is my variable name? Result. This is the variable already coming. Dot get name. You could see that is the way you can do it. So similar way, all the part you can update it here. This part is not required. You can update it on test success as well. Whenever, right, on test failure, it will be only called whenever test case getting failure. It will be called only test case getting skipped. That is not required much. And these are the other part. Timeout is there also, sometimes failing because of timeout. These are not required, and this is will be as a context level. Okay, because this will be only called at the shoot level. So here I can change it like TestNG test shoot start instead of test case start, shoot start, and here I can give the variable value called context. Context, and herever I can call it like change it test ends. Okay, now I can change the relevant part here wherever I have called. So first one is on test start, so I can mention that or TestNG test case start, it will be printing the name, it will be calling that output. Whenever test case success, I can mention TestNG test case passed, right, means success been passed only, then it will be giving the name. And whenever it is failure, I can mention that failed. Whenever test case skipped, I can mention it skipped. So that is the way I can update it. Now my listener interface I have already implemented, and I am also having my test case also there. So what is the two way I can call the listener? There are two way available to call the listeners in TestNG. First way is that, right, you can create the class, you can implement the listeners. After that you can go to the test cases class level, and you can add the listeners tag, package name dot listener class name dot class. So what I can do, I can go to the class wherever it is getting implemented, the class level, at the rate listeners. You could see this coming. Now what we need to mention, it is nothing but package name dot class name dot class. What is my package name? What is the package name? Training. What is the listener class name? Test listeners, right? Dot class. That's all. Now you could see the behavior changes. Now either you can run it from the TestNG XML file or the class level, wherever you will changing the changes, differences on the execution. So 4 test cases will be still executed, right? One passed, one two skipped, two failed, one skipped. Now you could see the output here, differences, right? TestNG test should start. It will only executed one time, because what you given in the listeners at the should level, this is being called at the should level first, automatically. TestNG test should start. Now test case start will be always for every test case starts. Now whatever test case getting passed, it is getting called this one, because your test case 1 is getting passed, right? Test 2 skip, test 4 skip, test 2 failed, test 4 failed, and test 3 skipped. Now you could see the output differences. TestNG test case passed. Again test 2 started, but test 2 get failed. Test 3 started, test 4 started, test 4 get failed. Test 3 started, but test 3 getting skipped. This one is getting called because it is skipped. So that is the way, wherever it is there, based on the actual execution type, it is being called this one, because it is skipped. In case failure, it is calling this one, so it is coming as TestNG, and at the end it will be coming as TestNG should end. You could see TestNG test should end, default test. So that is the way you can drive the execution with the help of the listeners. So this is the one way I can use the implement the listeners. Another way, I will simply remove this particular comment, this line, and I can directly call it from the testng.xml file here. So what is already there in my test cases? Second steps, right? You need to call that one tag. You need to, after the should name, before the test name, you need to add it. After the should name, you need to add the listeners. And here is nothing but the package name of the class name. So what is given? Package name dot class name, not dot class extension. You need to give it. So that's all. You need to give it here. This is another way. Same thing we'll be doing, but this is the another approach. You could see. This is the another approach, right? One test case passed, 2 failure, 1 skipped. Right? Now you could see here 1 test case 1 passed, 2 and 4 getting failed, 3 is skipped. Now in case you want to go to the test cases, and you can change the test case behavior now. Say I will be passing that test case 2 as well. So test case 3 will be executed now, because it will be passed also, right? Because your dependent test case got passed, it will not be skipped now. Now if you execute, only 3 test cases will be passed and 1 test case will be failed. So there is no unskipped method will be called at all. Now if you go to the testng.xml file and if you try to run it, you could see the differences. Now it will completely change here. 3 test case passed, 1 failed. You could see now here it will be coming like that. Test 1 start pass. Test 2 start passed. It is calling the pass method. Test 3 task, test 4 failed, and again test 3 passed. It is calling the pass method, not the skipped one. So that is the way, based on the actual testing type, it will try to call the relevant methods, relevant listeners thing, and wherever there the whatever body you are giving, based on that it will act accordingly. That is the way, right? You can change the behavior of your test cases based on the actual execution happening, right? Based on the thing you have defined in the listener thing. Okay, that is the way your listener is used to change your behavior, right? If you user used to modify the behavior of testing during skip development, and this can be done by the interface, which is nothing but the listener interface. Listeners are all interface. So automatically if you implement the interface in the class, by default all the unimplemented method you need to implement it, you need to give the body, and after that according to your test execution status it will try to call the relevant listeners and it will act accordingly. So this interface which help the user to do are known as listeners. As the name suggests, listener primary task is to listen to an event, define and react according to that. The main purpose for which listener are used by the programmer is to create log and create the custom report according to the specific scenario defined. Okay, another listeners will be knowing it, like which is nothing but the like IRetryAnalyzer. So here one thing will be there, you will learn right here what is the thing, that in case you want to run it from here, listener will not be called because you have defined listener at the testng.xml file. So here it will be running the test cases and it will be only failing is coming as 1 and passing is coming as 3. So you can run it n number of times. So but it will always try to execute all the test case again and again and again. Whether from the test case level or the TestNG level, it does not have any differences. It will try to execute all your past test case also again and again and again. But in the real time, suppose I have 500 test case. So in the first iterations, I have 450 test case passed and 50 fail. So my whatever test case is passed, I don't want to execute them again and again and again. I do not want to waste my time. I want my concentration is that only the re-execution failure only. Because it's failed, I want to re-execute them. And again out of 50, 30 got passed again next time due to some environment slowness or the payloading issue. So I'll be again running the 20 failed test case. So how it is possible? Okay, in case you want to do not want to waste the time and you want to only execute only the failed test case again and again until it is getting passed, and in case the whatever remaining test cases fail because of some open issue, you can log a defect. So that is the way you can save the time and you can only execute the failed test case. That is possible with or without listeners. So I both the aspect I will show you. So most of the time test case may fail while executing automated test script. The reasons may be anything like network issue, element not found, timeout exception, system issue or browser issue. But user need to execute the test script again. Instead of running all the test script again and again, user can execute only the failed test case again for any number of times and check the updated result. So what I will do, I will go to the test cases here. I can remove this part, depends on method part for now, and I can fail 2 test cases, say 30. So now 2 test case pass, 2 test case fail, right? And if I want to execute from the TestNG XML file, so it will be giving me 2 test case pass and 2 test case fail. Okay, so 2 test case pass, every time it will be 2 test case pass and 2 test case fail. But now what is the way I can only execute the failed test case? So you can go to the project, right click, click on the refresh, right? Now you go to the test output folder. You will be getting the report here how many test cases passed or failed. That is fine. You will be getting it. Right? To test case path, what is the reason you are also getting it here? Now say, in case you want to only concentrate on the failed test case, so in that test output folder, there's options available called TestNG-failed.xml file. You right click, open with XML editor. You could able to see only the failed test case whatever failed initially. So what is the failed test case? Right? These 3, test 3 and test 4. It is coming only these 2 test case, not the past test case is not coming. So now if you run it from here, right click and run as TestNG suite, you can only execute the failed test case. You could see it is only executing the failed test case and getting failed. So that is the way. I do not want to execute the whatever already passed. So now I know the reason. Okay, so what I will do, I will correct one test case. I will be correcting one of my test case from the failed one, and then again I can try to run it from the testng.xml file. Run as TestNG suite. You could see now out of which one test case will be passed and one test case will be failed. Now close it, this one, and refresh the project again, or test output folder, refresh it. One already got passed. Now again try to open it, TestNG failed.xml file. So you could see now only one test case will be there. One already got passed. You could see now only test 4 is there. So you can again run it. So only it will run only one test case. That is the way I will be reducing the whatever past test case is there. It is only one test case, so it is already getting failed. So that is the way you can, your debug will be faster and you can only concentrate whatever test case is getting failed. So that is the option without listener. But another option is also available with listeners. What I will do, so another option is available called IRetryAnalyzer listeners. The test method will be failed because of many reasons like uncertain behavior of the application, network issue, etc. To overcome the false failure, user might need to re-execute those failed test method multiple times. So that can be also possible through automated process or automated way instead of doing manually whatever we are doing manually. So when a test fails, the retry method get called and the retry method will result in either true or false. So let's see how what is the way you can do it. So we'll go to that one. Let's close this one. We'll create one more class called retry failed execution. No need to select public static void main method. So what I'll do, I'll be implement that IRetryAnalyzer interface. Implements IRetryAnalyzer interface from the org.testng package interface. Now you could see the error message is coming, so you need to implement the unimplemented method. Okay. Now this part you can change it. It's code already written. You can just take the code as a reference. This is the part you can try to take it. I'll explain that one. Okay. Okay, sorry, my bad. This is already there, right? I need to copy cut it. Yeah, that will work. So I am giving two variable current try. It will start from the 0 and maximum try it will go for 5. You can change it your accordingly. And this is the thing already there. So in my current try does not go to the maximum try. Starting from the 0 it will try to go one by one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every time it will increase it. In case your execution become past, it will stop there. Otherwise it will again false and it will again add the value here. So that is the it will try to execute it until your test case getting passed. So suppose say you run it maybe at 7 p.m. IST. That time your internet went for a slowness or internet outage was there for 5 minutes, and that time some test case got failed. So next time it will try to run it again couple of number of time, and that time test case pass it will stop there until your test case getting passed. So what is the way I can try to only execute the failed test cases? So in case test case is getting passed, it will not affect at all. In case test case is getting fail only, it will affect. So what is the way you need to use? So that is the only part you need to do. Apart from that, you need to call here every test cases you need to add whatever you want to run it. What is the sub you need to do? You need to use IRetryAnalyzer. Okay, here at the test case level, you need to go your test case level, and here you need to use retry analyzer. You could see it's coming equal to your class name, whatever class you created. What is the class name? Yeah, this is your class name dot class. That's all. Okay, every test case you can use, or whatever is pass failing it is you can use it. Now you could see the differences. Wherever it is pass, it will not have any impact. Let's fail two test case. Interestingly, I am failing two test case. So now two test cases fail. Okay, now and two test cases getting passed. Now try to run it from the testng.xml file and see the differences. Okay, you could see total 4 test cases there. Now it is executed 14 times. Why? Because 4 test cases running for 4th time. Apart from that, every test case it will try to execute 10 times wherever getting failed, 5 more times. You could see test 1 and 2 is getting passed. Test 3 it is getting run for 6 times, right? And 1 failed, 5 is getting skipped. Because same reason it is getting failed, that is the reason it is getting skipped. Test 4 it is running for time and it is getting failed. Why? Because I have given the IRetryAnalyzer starting part as 0 and ending part is 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Now if you give it to 3 and 5, so 3, 4, 5, 3 times only. 3 and 4 and 5. Now if you run it, it will be only 1 time failed, 2 times skipped. So that is the way it will be accordingly. Now you could see the differences, right? Total 8 failure, total, right? Test 3 is running for 3 times, 3, 4 and 5. 1 time failed, 2 times skip. 1 time failed, 2 times automatically retrying. You no need to give anything manually. Now say I am passing one test case now. This test case I want to make it pass. So what will happen? Only whatever failing, only that test case will try to retry it. So that is the automated way I can do the retry. You could see now only failure 1, it is trying retries 2 times. Whatever pass, it will not try to retry. 1, 2, 3 got passed. It is not trying any retry. So that is the beauty. In case test case is passed, you don't need to retry it again. Wherever getting failed, it will try to execute until it is getting passed or until all the iterations is getting executed. Now if you again getting change it to say 1 to 5, it will try to execute total 5 times. 1 time fail and again 4 more time retries. But same reason failing, so it will be skipped. Okay, 4 retries, 1 failure. So that is the way your right this one you can retry the failed execution only with the help of listeners or without the help of listeners from that test output folder and then this one, right? Skip failed XML file. Now if you refresh the project, again you could see only one failure, whatever was there, and you can try to run them manually as well. You could see only one test is getting failed. What? Test 4. And if you run manually, you can run as here. So only one test 4 will be able to run it. And now it is running for 4 times because retry already implemented. So that is the whatever way you want to do it, you can do it. I will take a pause. So you understood, the listeners, what is the way we can change the behavior of the test executions based on the execution type, and how in case only constantly the failure of execution failed test case instead of running all the past test cases again and again. So in case I am having 100 test case, in the first run 90 test case got passed, so I will not be running the 90 test case again. My constant is only 2 for the remaining 10 failure test case. And in case I will try to run for second time, out of 10 test case 5 test case got passed, my 5 test case I will not be running it. I do not want to waste the time. Again after that 5 test case failure test case I will try to run couple of number time. 3 test case got passed. So now my 2 test case got actual failure, and wherever I found that is not because of slowness, it is because of some defect, that I can log the defect. So that is the, it will help me. Automated way I can also give some retry counter 2 or 3 times. So that wherever is getting failed, it will try to run couple of number of times. In case still failure, that might be genuine issue. I can fix the code, or otherwise it is defect. Priya, Amruta, Ramkrishna, are you good? Yeah, not easiest one. Okay, need to practice it, but whatever way I'm just covering, just do it so that you can get the idea. But this is the real time part, right? We are doing about the framework, not manually, right? You could see how your framework is helping all the way. Okay, Then last part from the TestNG, which is very interesting, I'll be doing as a parallelism. Means that in case, right, your single execution or single thread is working. I've already given, you already learned the concept of multi-threading, right, in the Java class. So what is multi-threading? That concurrent execution of using multiple thread parallelly. So in case I am having 100 test case, but in case I want to execute one by one, right, it might take like 5 hour time. But in case I am using 5 threads, it might be completed in 2 hour time. That is the way I can save the time. Okay, so that is nothing but the parallelism or multi-threading. So parallelism or multi-threading in software terms is defined as the ability of the software, operating system or the program to execute multiple parts of or subcomponent of another program simultaneously. TestNG allows the test to run in parallel or multi-threaded mode. This means that based on the test suite configuration, different threads are started simultaneously and the test method are executed in them. This gives the user a lot of advantage over normal execution, mainly reduction in execution time and ability to verify a multi-threaded code. So parallel test execution is vastly used by the QA industry or functional automation testing. This feature helps QA to configure their test to be executed easily in multiple browsers or operating systems simultaneously. TestNG will providing an auto-defined XML file, which is nothing but the TestNG XML file, where you can define the parallel attribute to method or test or class level. Here this is the way we are giving the suite name as parallel any name. Parallel equal to method level, test level or the class level, instance level, and you can give the thread count. That is the only difference you need to make it. Now let's go to the code. Let's close all this part. Let's comment out all this part here. What is the thing already having? So this is the code I'm already having to have 4 test cases. We're just copying it here. Okay. So this is my first test case. Okay, test case name is enter user ID password. I am opening the Facebook page. I am trying to enter the email ID password. I'll be printing my title, quit the browser. This is my second test case. First test case I am opening in Chrome browser. Second test case I also using Chrome browser. I am opening the Facebook page, simply getting the title, quitting it. Third test case I am opening the Google page and I want to use it using the Firefox driver browser, right? So I need to import that one. And I am opening the Google page, getting the titles and quitting the browser. Third test case I am using Chrome browser again. I want to open the ready page. I want to get the title. I want to quit the browser. So this is my fourth test case, right? Now if you want to execute it, only pass only. If you want to execute TestNG test, it will be executing one by one. One test case got completed, it will open the other test case. Second got completed, third, fourth, 5 and so on, like that. Okay, and it will take some time. Based on the alphabetical order of the test case, it will be executed. Definitely it is doing one by one. 4 test case got passed and you can get the result here based on the alphabetical order. 4 test case got run. Now if you go to the TestNG XML file, still it will be executed same way. This another part I can just comment it out for now. It will be still executed same way, one by one. There is no difference at all. Okay. Now in case I want to do the parallel testing, so what I need to do, I need to, as whatever I mentioned in the PPT also, you need to go to that one and you can give something. Suit name you can change it. That's all. At the method level, suit name part I just will update, simple thing. So suit name I can change it, or you can skill sim parallel you can method level, and in count you can give it as 3. I want to will be using 3 thread. So 3 multiple user will be concurrent thread will be working. Now if you run it from the testng.xml file, you could see the differences. You could see 3 test cases getting open at the same time, right, instead of one by one. Okay, and the last one is getting executed now, and it will be much faster. Based on the internet sheet, but it will much faster also, right, because it might be taking some time to load it, but all the concurrent user tab is opening at the same time. Here you could see output, go here, right, here it is opening the page concurrently. After that output is getting coming here, not like one by one. Again run it, again you could see the differences. This part let's close it. So this is the concurrent execution. In case you are having 50 test case, you can use 5 or 10 thread. In case you are using multiple thread, you should have system capacity, right? You could see all the browser is opening at the same time. So that is the parallel testing. Means your test case is getting executed parallelly. One test case is not dependent on the other. It is independent execution. And definitely in the real time it will take, it will definitely save 50 to 60% time. And you can get the execution completed very quickly with the help of the thread concept, which is nothing but the multi-thread concept whatever learned in the Java. Okay, so I'll be covering one more time what is the stuff you have learned today. So group part is nothing, right? In case you want to segregate your test case, right, by your testing type, application, or other aspect, you can first differentiate them. After that, you can go to your testing.xml file, you can include or exclude group, and you can filter the execution. After that, you can run it. So it will be right, whatever intended execution you want to do, you can do it quickly, and you can get the desired result quickly. And parameters are nothing but like same set of data you want to use in multiple test case or test method, you can use the parameterization. Data provider or data driven testing is nothing. In case same test case you want to execute with the different data combination, you can do it. So you need to use data provider concept, but same thing will be letter pointer frame implement using the Excel sheet, so that it will be very easy for that, and you use the Apache PY for that. Listener is nothing but it will listen first, but after that it will change the behavior, right? So there are a lot of listeners available. I test listener, I shoot listeners, other listeners. With the help of the listener class, it will be executed whatever thing you want to add it on the like based on your execution type, like past fail script will be executed, and accordingly you can do it. And you can, in case you want to execute only the fail test, that is also possible. There are two approaches I have shown. One is with listener and without listeners. Without listeners, you can just go to that right test output folder. You can find the testng-failed.xml file where you can get only the fail test case, and you can try to run them. So automatically past test case will not be executed. It will only try to execute the fail test case. And similarly, with the help of the iTest listeners, IRetryAnalyzer interfaces, you can implement it, and you can automate complete the process, so that automatically whatever iteration you want to give it, whenever test case getting fail, it will try to execute that iteration maximum number of time, but in the meantime, in case test case getting fast, it will stop the iteration there. And parallel testing is nothing but in case you want to execute the like multiple test cases at the same time with different browser and operating system, you can use the parallel concept at the test level, method level, class level, and you need to use the multi-threading concept as well. Multiple thread is more than one, so that your execution will be much faster. You can get the desired result quickly, and it will save your effort definitely. So that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.